Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you go. And if you are not new here, thank you so much and welcome back. Today is our 1 year anniversary. Yes, it's actually been a year since I bought my first home, and in this video I'm going to be telling you guys all about the journey, the pros, the cons, my experience so far. And let me tell you, you are in for a treat. I'm going to be telling you guys everything that I wish I knew before buying the house, all the obstacles that I had to overcome, and just how I'm finding it so far as a homeowner, if I regret it, if I don't, stuff that I wish I could do differently. That will all be included in the video. So get comfortable and let's head right into the video. So you guys already know I'm not going to start off without thanking God. We can only thank God that we made it this far. Obviously, with the pandemic, a lot of people have lost their homes due to foreclosure. I mean, in Jamaica, we have a lot of natural disasters happening. So it's a real blessing to be able to have the home after 1 year of all of this madness happening. So firstly, if you are new here, please be sure to check out my home series. I have a series here where I covered everything relating to this house that we're about to talk about. I have everything from what I wish I knew before, the home buying process in Jamaica, the company I use, how much I spent buying the house, as in literally everything is in that series. So if you want to know more, go and check it out. I've actually got a playlist for you guys. I'm going to try to have it somewhere on the screen so you guys can definitely go and check it out. So the first, negative that not negative, but the first thing that I wanted to highlight with you guys, the first thing that I learned along this whole home ownership journey is that you cannot furnish a home in a couple of months. It's literally impossible. Well, you can't furnish it properly, that is. For me, obviously you guys saw that I tried to do it within a week, and that was me just getting the furniture, everything else like the accessories for the home, the tableware, smaller stuff that we needed. I actually purchased overseas, and that I had purchased months before actually confirming and buying the property. So if you are looking to furnish your home, let me just tell you right now, plain and straight, you're not going to do it properly in a couple of months, especially if you're doing it by yourself. And that's for various reasons. Some of the hiccups that I got into was that firstly, some of the stock that I wanted. So I found a bed set in Quartz when I was overseas, and by the time I got Jamaica, the bed set did already sold out and they didn't have any more in stock. So that's one thing. Also, two, it's very tricky when you're trying to furnish a home to make sure that each room coordinates with the other and like the hallways flow. I think for me, I really wanted something that was quite practical. It was very much long lasting, because you guys know when I bought the house, the intention was to have an Airbnb, which we had, but because of COVID changes, we've had to change it into now a long-term vacation home. So with that being said, I furnished it according to it being an Airbnb and not according to me actually living there. If I was to live there, I would have had different furniture, especially, for example, the washer. The first washer that I had purchased was a manual one. It wasn't, it was a manual one, so that means it would tumble the clothes, but it wouldn't dry them. Like, it wouldn't be dry enough to go in the closet or go in the drawer. If I was living at the property, that's something that I would want for myself, especially being that it's an apartment and you're not actually allowed to have any lines or any clothes outside, even though at Jamaica you live in and it's warm. This is just one of the rules in some of the apartments in Jamaica. So yeah, that is something that I would love to change, and I have actually gone ahead and changed it. So we had to sell the current washer that we had, because long term it actually didn't make any sense, because the guests that were staying there, they weren't happy having to wash the clothes and then hang it up inside for it to dry, and then to, it's just a lot of manual labor. So that didn't make sense, but obviously at the time that was my budget, so that's what I had to work with. But going forward, I definitely wouldn't make that same mistake again. I would probably prefer to just hold off and just save to be able to get a fully functioning automatic washer and dryer, especially because of the strata rules. Obviously, prior to purchasing the house, I didn't know that you wouldn't be allowed to hang your clothes outside. So that's why I went for a really simple washer and tumbler dryer kind of thing. Since I was informed about the rules, I definitely had to make the change and change out the washer and dryer. So while we're talking about furniture, another thing that you do want to bear in mind is that when you're ordering large pieces of furniture, anything can go wrong. And with that apartment, I feel like I've literally had every occurrence of something going wrong. We've had I ordered the bed set when I got to Jamaica, the one that we chose. It wasn't actually there. And then two, when we actually purchased, like pay for the new bed set, the one that they wanted to give us was actually damaged. So instead of swapping it, we actually had some money compensated for. And this is why it's so important, guys, to double check the store shipping and returns policy, because literally anything can happen and you want to be protected and you want your money to be secure. So in that instance, we had to get some compensation, and the company said that they would send someone to spray it. I know we can't say that, but you know, it's Jamaica, so it's kind of how the place run. Another thing to bear in mind is that with furnitures, they don't normally always have everything available. I remember when I was shopping for the smaller pieces overseas, a lot of the time. Sorry about that, guys. My storage is apparently full. I don't know how, but it look like Apple One and excuse me what I have. So let's hurry and try to do this video, and then I can try to sort my storage out. So as I was saying, yes, when I was overseas buying the smaller pieces, most of the times some of the stock would be in stock and then the remaining of it would be out of stock. So you really want to allow yourself a lot of time to be able to buy everything together and have it all come to your house in a timely manner, especially if you're buying from overseas and you're shipping it to Jamaica. Remember all of the time difference, and especially with COVID now, things take a lot more longer than they say online, and things are normally delayed with all of the lockdowns and all of the various restrictions. So another thing that I wanted to quickly touch on was that whenever you are actually getting any workmen or contractors in Jamaica, this could be from electrician to plumber, make sure that you do your thorough research. There are a lot of con artists now nowadays. Well, they've always been there, but there are lots of con artists in Jamaica where they can talk like them can do something, and when they come, they cannot do the right job. In addition to that, try to make sure that the person that you're hiring for the job actually has a portfolio or some pictures of the work that they've done. So if it's that you want to install a new cabinet in a kitchen, make sure that you've seen pictures or videos of the work that the contractor has done previously, only because this can prevent you from getting disappointed, and this can also prevent a lot of problems later on in the future, because there and then you'll be able to work out or at least distinguish what you like and what you don't like from the actual work that you can see in front of you, as opposed to something that you just hear or a verbal agreement that you have. The other thing when working with contractors and workmen is that you want to make sure that it's also a referral or a reference from someone that you know. This could be either a family friend or this could even be a colleague, but you want to try to give work to the people that's around you, that surrounds you in your local area, just to try to give some money back into the community and into the economy. And mainly also because someone will be held responsible or accountable if anything was to go wrong. Like for me personally, I feel a lot more confident and comfortable having a workman that did something for my friend or for my family before I actually go to a stranger that I don't know about, especially with work ethic and stuff like that. So it's better to be safe than sorry. Well, and my final 2 tips on the contractors and workmen is that 1, try to actually have a written contract where possible, or issue receipts. So if you are the person hiring them, or if you have a co-host, if you're in an Airbnb, try to make sure that you have your little receipt book just so you have a record of every outgoings, and also so that they can't say that you didn't pay them, because this is something that may arise, being that Jamaica is currently a developing country and a lot of the jobs can be a cash in hand job or just a little side hustle. It's not like a real, like an employment job, if you don't understand what I say. So try to make sure that you have your own record of any money that you're paying out to someone. And then the last tip on working with contractors and workmen is that you should try to have a second and third opinion on whatever quote or price that they tell you. And let me give you my personal example. I remember I wanted to have blinds in the apartment, and I think I got a quote of something well over 30,000 Jamaican dollars, and I was like, there's no way, because when I go to IKEA, £30 can give me the same thing, if not more, if not different size and quantity. So that is just daylight robbery. So when you get second and third quote, it really just gives you an insight into that field, and it just gives you a few more references to go off to see what kind of price range you're in, because majority of the quotes that I was using in Jamaica for blinds were just overpriced, especially because of the item that it is. Like, it's something that I can easily order from Amazon and just ship down and just install myself. Like, it's not that difficult. So I don't know why they're charging 50,000+, 100,000+ to install blinds in a home. Nonetheless, try to get a second and third opinion, just so you can have a proper idea of if someone is trying to thief your money. Because the thing with Jamaica is that if somebody can add $5,000 on the price what them tell you, them add it's them on a conscience. No, it don't work like that. Like, everybody just a hustle, so you don't want to get hustled out, especially if you're overseas. Like, it's very hard. Well, for me personally, I find it hard sometimes to keep up with the currency and changes and stuff like that. So it's very easy for somebody to tell me a price, I'm gonna say, well, alright, yeah. But no, get your second and your third quote them, because that's gonna save you a lot of money in the long run. The next thing that I experienced through the last year with this property, and I think this is probably more common in the Caribbean, or it may even specifically be directed at people living in the Caribbean, is that there will be a pest breakout at some point. I think we had our first pest or rodent breakout rather 6 months after purchasing the home, and it wasn't just my house, it was the entire apartment that was infested. So you need to have your pest money set aside, and especially with Jamaica, because with us we do have seasons of different insects like rising up in the place. For instance, I think at the moment it's like rainy season, so we have a lot of mosquitoes, and we also have a lot of flies, or we recently had a lot of flies, so we had to pay for someone to come in to just spray the place, clean the place, only because you really don't want your property to wear down. And where it's tropical and it's hot in Jamaica, it's only natural and it's only normal for the pests to come up at certain seasons. So save your money, because one thing with pest breakout is that they always come at the most inconvenient time, when you don't want them around and when you don't have no money. So the best advice I can give you guys is that you need to just save a little something, put to one side, so that when the insects and the rodents and everybody start come, you already have their money and your pest control, guys. So a really simple tip that literally saved me a lot of time is that I got spare keys. So this is a recommendation to you guys if you haven't got the gist. So definitely try to get some spare keys for your apartment. If it's that you have a gated system or you have camera, try to have extra ones. And also get your neighbors' numbers, or anyone that lives into your strata or apartment. Try to have a group, because it's a lot more easier to translate information that way. It saves a lot of time, and also everyone is well informed because everyone has access to a smartphone these days. And if you are extra careful like me, you may also want to get your president, vice president, or even just a contact number for the strata committee in Jamaica. Well, I've got the president for my strata committee's number, and this has been really useful because you just never know what can happen. Like, there can be a fire outbreak, there can be an accident on the road, there can be anything, there can be a flood, you know, somebody tile can collapse or whatever the case. It's just really useful to have these contact numbers ready and at hand, because like we've seen, life is very unpredictable and anything goes. And with having the spare key, it's literally saved me so much time, especially because I don't live on the island. So guys, I'm not going to lie to you, like the main thing that really caught me off guard is the ongoing maintenance, time and money that the property takes up. Like when homeowners normally tell me say home ownership like it take enough maintenance, I think I did underestimate them. Yeah, I did underestimate them, and I would have never in a million years think some would have spent so much money on a newly built apartment already. In my mind, I'm thinking that I'm buying a new apartment, so there should literally be no extra cost other than what I'm paying up front. But surprising to me, a few of the things that I've had to pay and maintain is that I've had to set aside money to buy a water pump so we could have water heating. I also had to pay a plumber to come in to like use a snake thing to clean out the shower head just so we could have running water. I've had to pay an electrician to come and undo wires in the apartment. Like, this is the most frustrating thing for me, and to this day I still don't know if it's that I bought a crappy apartment or this is just sadly the house standard in Jamaica. And like, I can't even explain to you guys how much shit I've had to deal with this apartment, and it's literally only been 12 months. And I'm really trying to emphasize it in this video because I don't want you guys to rush and buy a property if you don't have the money and if you don't have the time or the means of maintaining it, because the house will literally run down or it will mad you. Like, there's no in between. It's one or the other. Either take a mad you and you can sell it, or it's a run down pan you, or you can just spend the money and maintain it and just pray say in the long run it's all worth it, which is basically what I'm doing at the moment. But the cost and the maintenance we take is almost like me buy a next house. That's honestly how I feel. And I also feel like I live at the apartment, and that's because it's so draining, like mentally draining. It takes up a lot of my time. Like, I genuinely feel like I live there, and that's because probably every 2 weeks we have a new issue at the apartment, and these are literally issues that I can't prevent from happening. There are sadly issues that I can't even make a claim for, and there are issues that every resident in the building has had to deal with in some capacity. So like I said, I just really feel like either I bought a crappy apartment or the house standard in Jamaica is just ridiculously low, where even if you do buy a new apartment, you still have to set aside at least $300,000 to realistically maintain it in the first year alone. Alone, that's the key word, alone. And guys, this is only my experience. Like, I've had neighbors in the apartment where their tiles have lifted and they've had to retile the entire floor, or their windows aren't sealed, and you have rain coming and then the wall starts stripping, they have to repaint the wall and they have to pay to seal the windows. So I don't know what that means, but personally for me, my only message to you guys is that don't go into home ownership if you cannot maintain the property, because once you have the property, it's gonna feel like you're just in a constant state of maintaining different parts of your body. Like, that's how I see the house now. Like, on the whole, it's like a body, and then like the bedroom will be my arm, and then the kitchen will be my foot, or whatever. So every now and again the bedroom will need little maintenance, or the kitchen part will need little maintenance. It's just maintaining different parts of your body structure so that your body on a whole work together and it works cohesively. So that's one major thing for you guys to take away from me. I hope it wasn't too jumbled, but like I said, it's something that I still struggle with this day. Like, I still struggle with having to maintain the property because I wasn't mentally prepared, I wasn't financially prepared to have all of this burden on me, especially so quick, because it literally just don't feel like. Anyway, moving on to the good things or the more positive things with the property. I don't have any regrets. So with all that I've said, with all the issues that the property comes with the maintenance and everything that I've had, so in regards to that, I'm referring to having to change from an Airbnb host to now a landlady, all within 12 months. I still have no regrets whatsoever. I still do feel like buying this house was definitely a great investment move for me, and I'm very elated that it's added to my portfolio. Looking forward to see where this home ownership journey takes me, especially this one, because apartment a problem. But yeah, that's it really. And what I can say with comparing buying the house and renting the house is that I do miss having someone to just call for maintenance. Now that I'm renting, it's a lot easier. Like, I literally have no problems. Anything is wrong, you just pick up the phone, you call maintenance, and you know, problem fixed. As opposed to with my owner house now, when the tenants or a guest have a problem, they call me. I'm maintenance, and you guys already know manual labor is not my bag, so it's not like I can physically do anything. I then have to outsource and rely on someone else to fix the issue. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But that's what I really miss with comparing the two. And also with having my house, one thing that I really I thoroughly enjoyed was that it gave me the full creativity to decorate and to style the place how I wanted. I got the opportunity to furnish it exactly how I wanted. There was no input whatsoever. I didn't have an interior designer, nothing like that. I literally just picked out what I like and I did it together. With renting, it's a lot more limited. But this is just my experience so far, and all in all, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the fact that I still have a house, because really and truly with the pandemic, that has just expanded my gratitude. The smallest things I'm used to complain about, now me I thank God at least this is my problem. People have bigger problem in the world. To still be in this privileged position, honestly, is a blessing to me. And I really can't wait to see where this journey takes us. And again, for one last big time, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at _JAYXOS. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye. Thank you for chilling with me, guys. Bye.